What if the most dangerous thing you did today had nothing to do with skipping the gym or forgetting your medication? What if it happened quietly in your own kitchen in under 2 minutes, using something most people do every single day without a second thought? Reheating leftovers sounds completely harmless. It saves time, it saves money, and it feels like the smart thing to do. But here is what most people never hear. Certain common foods, when reheated, go through a chemical change inside your body that researchers are increasingly concerned about. And some of these foods are sitting in your refrigerator right now. I am not talking about exotic ingredients or rare superfoods. I am talking about everyday foods that millions of Americans eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Foods that feel healthy, foods that feel safe. But under heat, something changes. Stay with me because number 3 on this list surprises almost everyone, and number 5 is something most people reheat without even thinking twice. Hello, I am Dr. Harrison, and on this channel we talk about the health information that most people never get told. If you are new here, welcome. If you have been watching for a while, you already know that we do not sugarcoat things on this channel. We give you the real information so you can make smarter choices for yourself and for the people you love. Today we are going through 5 foods that you should stop reheating immediately, not because of taste, not because of texture, but because of what they may do inside your body the second time around. And before we get into the list, I want to ask you something. How many times this week have you reheated food without thinking about it? Most people do it every single day. That habit feels completely normal. But by the end of this video, you may look at your microwave very differently. Let us start with number 1. Number 1 is chicken. Chicken is one of the most popular proteins in America. It is affordable, it is filling, and it is easy to cook in large batches and save for later. Millions of people do this every single week. But here is what most people do not know about reheating chicken. When chicken is cooked and then allowed to cool, the protein structure in the meat begins to change. When you reheat it, especially at high temperatures or unevenly in a microwave, those protein molecules break down in a way that may be difficult for your digestive system to process correctly. Some research suggests this breakdown can produce compounds that put additional stress on the digestive tract over time. But there is something else. Chicken that has not been stored at the right temperature or that has been reheated multiple times can harbor bacterial activity that reheating does not fully eliminate. The outside may feel hot, but the inside may not reach the temperature needed to neutralize what has been growing there. If you must eat leftover chicken, low and slow is a better approach. Reheat it in an oven at a lower temperature, make sure it reaches a consistent internal heat throughout, and never reheat it more than once. And one more thing before we move on. If you are someone who meal preps chicken for the whole week, this next food is going to matter even more to you. Number 2 is rice. I know. Rice feels like the safest food in the world. It is simple. It is plain. It is a staple of kitchens across America. But improperly handled rice may actually be one of the riskier foods to reheat, and most people have no idea. Here is why. Rice can contain spores of a bacterium called Bacillus cereus. When rice is cooked and left out, or cooled slowly and stored, those spores can survive and begin producing toxins. The problem is that these toxins are heat resistant. Reheating the rice kills some bacteria, but it does not destroy the toxins that have already formed. And those toxins are what can cause serious gastrointestinal illness. Research suggests that rice left at room temperature for even a few hours after cooking can begin this process, and reheating it in the microwave the next day does not reverse what has already happened. The safer approach is to cool rice quickly after cooking, refrigerate it within 1 hour, and only reheat it once. Never leave cooked rice sitting at room temperature for extended periods. Now, if rice surprised you, wait until you hear what is coming next. Because number 3 is something that is in almost every American kitchen and is considered one of the healthiest vegetables you can eat. Number 3 is spinach. Spinach is packed with iron, vitamins, and antioxidants. It is the kind of food that health professionals have recommended for decades. But spinach contains naturally occurring compounds called nitrates. And when spinach is heated, those nitrates can convert into nitrites. When reheated a second time, that conversion can go further, and the compounds that form have been the subject of ongoing research related to cellular health. This is not about a single serving causing immediate harm. But for people who regularly cook large batches of spinach and reheat it throughout the week, the repeated heat exposure may be something worth reconsidering. Other vegetables high in natural nitrates, such as celery, beets, and lettuce, carry a similar concern when repeatedly reheated. The better approach with leafy greens is to cook only what you need in the moment. If you have leftover spinach, consider eating it cold in a salad rather than reheating it in a pan or microwave. Stay with me because number 4 is one that regularly shocks people. It is a food most Americans consider a breakfast staple. Number 4 is eggs. Scrambled eggs, hard-boiled eggs, fried eggs. Eggs are one of the most consumed breakfast foods in the country, and many people cook a large batch at the start of the week and reheat them every morning to save time. But reheating eggs, especially at high heat, causes the protein structure to break down in ways that may make them harder to digest and potentially more irritating to the digestive lining. There is also a food safety concern. Eggs that have been cooked and stored improperly or held at the wrong temperature before reheating can become a host for bacterial growth. And the speed and uneven heat of a microwave does not guarantee that the entire egg reaches a safe temperature throughout. If you are someone who preps eggs in advance, consider storing them separately from other ingredients, reheating them at lower temperatures slowly, and eating them within 24 hours of cooking rather than stretching them across the full week. And now we have reached number 5. This is the one that most people never see coming. Because this food is not just common, it is considered heart healthy, affordable, and filling. Most people reheat it without a single thought. Number 5 is potatoes. Potatoes are a staple of the American diet. Baked potatoes, mashed potatoes, roasted potatoes. They are filling, they are satisfying, and they are easy to make in bulk. But here is what most people do not know. When a potato is cooked and then allowed to cool, a process begins where the starch in the potato transforms into what is called resistant starch. This is actually not entirely bad on its own, but when that cooled potato is then reheated, especially at high temperatures, certain compounds can form that researchers are studying for their effects on the gut and on long-term cellular health. Beyond that, potatoes left to cool at room temperature for extended periods can become a breeding ground for the same Clostridium botulinum bacteria associated with serious foodborne illness. The risk increases significantly when potatoes are stored in foil or in conditions that limit oxygen exposure, which is exactly how many people wrap up their leftover baked potatoes. If you are going to eat leftover potatoes, remove them from any foil wrapping immediately after cooking, refrigerate them quickly, and when reheating, avoid the microwave in favor of an oven that ensures even heating throughout. Now let me pull this all together for you because the point of today is not to make you afraid of your kitchen. The point is to help you make smarter choices every single day. Here's a quick summary of what we covered today. Chicken should only be reheated once and should never be reheated unevenly in a microwave at full power. Rice should be cooled quickly, refrigerated fast, and only reheated a single time. Spinach and other leafy greens high in natural nitrates are better eaten fresh or cold rather than reheated repeatedly. Eggs should be reheated carefully at lower temperatures and eaten within a short window after cooking. Potatoes should never be left in foil at room temperature and should be reheated in an oven rather than a microwave. These are not extreme lifestyle changes. These are small adjustments that may make a real difference in how your body feels over time. And when it comes to long-term health, especially after the age of 50, the small daily habits are often the ones that matter most. I want to hear from you. Do you reheat any of these foods regularly? Which one surprised you the most? Drop your answer in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, share it with someone you care about because this is exactly the kind of information that most people never hear from their regular doctor. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because every week we bring you real health information that is practical, easy to understand, and focused on helping you live better for longer. I am Dr. Harrison and I will see you in the next one. Take care of yourself.